In my several previous videos, I've spoken about the prayer life of the Christian. I've talked about how difficult it is, how demanding it is to become a person of prayer. I've also spoken of prayer as engaging in relationship, that whenever you say, let's pray, we're saying, let's be with God in deep relationship. I've also spoken about the words of Jesus when he told his disciples to go into a place and close the door, a room, a closet, close the door and be quiet. And in the silence of that remote or private place, you are to wait upon the Lord. You are to pray. Now this is difficult. It's hard even to comprehend when you have a busy mind like most all of us do. Praying in secret is what the late Father Thomas Keating called, in his more modern language, centering prayer. I like that term because it helps me understand that what I'm trying to do is to center my whole being in the being of God. It helps me see that this is a relationship, not one of cursive learning or of reading, but of resting in union with the triune God. Now this may sound like strange language, the language of what is called Christian mysticism. But the opposite of that has really been a kind of Christian rationalism, the kind of evangelical Christianity that I was taught. It became pretty mechanistic. Even prayer was mechanistic. And after a lifetime of praying that way, I just was empty and crying for more of God than I knew. And so I began to explore and pray and try. I discovered in the Old Testament the story of Elijah, who experienced God on Mount Horeb. And when he did, he said it was sheer silence. I thought of Solomon in the temple and the dedication and being caught up in a cloud of divine glory. Silence, but God was present. I thought of the psalmist in Psalm 46:10 saying, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still and know. There's a knowing that goes beyond the rational faculties of doctrines and explanations of who God is and what God will do. This knowing, this resting in God, is centering prayer. It's contemplation. There are two ways the Christian tradition has understood the contemplation of God. First is called the cataphatic, and that refers to a discursive, rational mind understanding necessary for the Christian. But the part that we've missed is the apophatic side of the equation. The apophatic side centers not in our minds and our thoughts, but rather in our hearts being at rest in God. I submit to you, dear friend, that what perhaps you need more than you know is to experience the apophatic relationship with God and enter this cloud of unknowing, of sheer silence. Close the door and in secret open your heart and in silence expose yourself to God as never before. May God help you to pray in this way.